Well, hello and welcome everyone. OIXIO will be talking about manufacturing and how OIXIO can help manufacturing companies with our digital solutions in our portfolio. And I'm happy to introduce my colleagues from OIXIO digital team. It is Albertas Kontrimavičius from Dynamics 365 finance and supply chain management team, as well as our Estonian colleague Neelis, who is also our finance and supply chain management system senior consultant. And I myself, Donatas, I'm a sales director responsible for business application sales in Lithuania. And I will be making a little introduction today about our company group. But before that, just a little sneak preview about our agenda today. So Albertus will show and talk about the shop floor control for manufacturing companies in Dynamics 365 finance and supply chain management. And then my colleague Neelis will cover quality control functionalities as well as warehouse management. Afterwards, just a short closing remarks. As well as I would like to everyone to add any questions you will have during the presentations directly into the Teams chat function. Just write them down. My colleagues will be available and will try to do their best and to answer those questions right away. However, if we won't be able to answer all of those, we will send you a follow-up email together with attached webinar video recording. So you will get all answers covered as well as video ready to be shared with your other teammates and colleagues. So for now, I will just briefly jump into about OIXIO Group. Just a few slides for you to understand a little bit background about our company. So first of all, geographics. We are well known in the Baltic region. We're operating currently in Estonia and Lithuania, as well as we have strategic partnerships in Latvia. So basically, we are covering whole Baltic countries in terms of the specific functionalities related to those countries, localizations, finance, accounting part, etc. So, as I mentioned, we have today two consultants, one from Lithuania and one from Estonia. What is important to understand, as Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain Management team, we are implementing ERP as a joint pan-Baltic team. And as well as some news during 2024, we also established our operations in Germany and growing our business also there. Overall, we are well known, as mentioned, in Baltic country. We are counting more than 30 years of experience implementing ERP, working with IT security questions, and basically building our customers' digital future. Currently, we have over 300 employees, more than 1,500 customers, and we, as well as company group, we have more than 50 million in revenue across the company group. What is also important for our customers, we're also focusing ourselves in terms of information security management, so we are certified in terms of ICO certifications, as well as we have numerous certificates from our main software, hardware partners such as Microsoft, Fortinet, and others. Now about company group, what is really important to understand when talking about OIXIO, we are operating in 4 distinct business lines. So for example, today, 2 of my colleagues have joined from OIXIO digital business line. This is the specific business line which is responsible for digitalization of business processes. So that means that this business line is working with ERP systems, CRM, data analysis tools, Power BI, Fabric, and other Microsoft solutions dedicated for business. Other three business lines, let's start from advisory. It is our foundation working with our customers. It is a separate team, separate consultants, which are helping for our customers to plan their digital future, to plan their actions in order to either to plan ERP implementation, or it is dedicated about to plan their cybersecurity, what actions needs to be taken in order to cover, for example, NIS2 regulation, etc. Advisory team helps our customers to plan how to move forward with their digital future plans. As well as advisory team is specifically responsible for artificial intelligence topics in our organization. Then we have IT business line, where we have IT engineers, IT specialists working in IT management, workstation management services, cloud and service network solutions, covering that main, so to say, prerequisite of our customers that enables their digital future execution. And as well as we are keeping our customers safe with our dedicated team of cybersecurity engineers. So that means that we are able to provide cybersecurity audit services. We have dedicated security operations center operating on the pan-Baltic level, providing our customers with 24/7 of security services. Basically, our vision is to cover 360 degrees of the IT landscape of our customers, enabling them to move into the digital future with confidence, of course. So let's focus today on the digital part, and we will share you what my colleagues are doing, what they are capable of. From the left side, you can see main business applications. Those are not all business applications we're working with, but those are main. So we can see here two main ERP platforms, Microsoft Dynamics Finance and Supply Chain Management, and as well as Microsoft D365 Business Central. We also work with Dynamics 365 Sales, providing our customers with capabilities of the CRM functionalities. And as well as we also started working with field service solution dedicated for frontline and field workers of our customers. One important note is that we are not only working with Microsoft products specifically for manufacturing companies, we are offering Siemens UpCenter solution for production planning. If you really have any questions about those, or you would like for us to contact you after this webinar, just drop us the message. We will plan actions moving forward. In the middle, you can see our add-ons. So that means that we are not only implementing ERP platforms, providing them as a standard solutions, but we're also building our own solutions on top of those ERP platforms. So for example, we had a few webinars about OIXIO HR payroll solution dedicated for both platforms, finance and supply chain management, as well as for Business Central, covering HR, payroll management, work time management, as well as employee self-service functionalities. And we have others covering very specific verticals, for example, for finance market participants, leasing and loan solutions, or for manufacturing companies working specifically in log industry, OIXIO timber. So we have a wide portfolio of additional solutions covering the specific needs. You can jump into our webpage or drop us the message if you would like to hear more. And now, just before I will hand over to my colleague Albertas, I would like to just briefly introduce you to Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain Management, what it is. Because after Microsoft rebranding, there was a certain confusion for our customers what it is. So Finance and Supply Chain Management is one of the two ERP platforms in Microsoft portfolio. This specific solution formerly was known as Microsoft Dynamics AX or Axapta. Currently, the whole branding is changed as well as the licensing, and it is separated into 5 distinct business applications. However, the classical ERP, as you understand it, is like finance, accounting, manufacturing, warehouse management, etc. Those processes are covered by those 2 applications. However, from Dynamics AX times, Dynamics 365 Commerce, for example, retail functionalities or project operations, as well as human resource module for handling human resource processes, are also there. Why Microsoft has done this? In order to give focus to each of those specific areas and give the possibility and flexibility to customer to license exactly what specifically he needs. Last slide before I hand over is this. This is the whole Microsoft ecosystem. And you can see it's a little bit tricky and a little bit overwhelming. I just want to say that this is why we are here, and OIXIO can help you to get a grip what type of solution is right for you and how to plan the digital future of your company. Those on the right side highlighted applications are specifically what we are going to be talking today. So for example, Dynamics AX, former name, Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain Management, those apps are right here. Today, Albertas and Mielis will be talking about supply chain part specifically. So thank you for the attention for this intro, and I would like to hand over to Albertas. Albertas, please help us to understand better what Microsoft has to offer.
Hello, everyone. Today I will show you Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain Management, how enables digital transformation on the shop floor. We'll begin with discussing the main challenges business face when production is not digitalized. Then we will start with a brief overview of shop floor control capabilities and then move into live demonstration of a production floor execution terminal and its key functions. From an executive perspective, shop floor visibility is critical. Many organizations still struggle with delayed production reporting, manual data entry, and limited performance control. This leads to inaccurate costing, poor real-time control, and reactive decision-making. Digital floor execution changes that. It connects operators directly to ERP, ensuring real-time production data. D365 provides full shop floor control functionality. It manages the complete production order lifecycle from start to completion. Operators can register time, report quantities, track material consumption, record scrap, register machines maintenance, and downtime. All transactions update inventory, costing, and work in progress in real time. The key value is that execution and financial impact are fully integrated. The production floor execution terminal is designed specifically for shop floor operators. It provides a simple touch-friendly interface that connects directly to D365. Operators can log in using badges or credentials, see their active jobs, and start reporting immediately. Importantly, this is not a separate system. It is fully embedded within the ERP environment. Now let's see how this works in practice using production floor execution terminal. First, you can configure the terminal so that only certain operations are visible. For example, if a terminal is located in a specific production line. After clicking configure, You can choose the settings for that will be displayed in terminal as well. Filter where operations will be shown. For example, I select to display the operations of resource 1121. On the left, on the right, on the left hand side, we can see summary of order statuses for today. The operator logs in using badge or user ID or password. In this case, we log in using badge ID. Okay. In all jobs, we can see the list of operations for our selected resource and main information about operations. The operator select operation and start the job. And time registration begins automatically. It is possible to enter task number, for example, by scanning the barcode. If we have a road card with operation barcode, for example, enter, press enter, and the operation start window would open immediately. By selecting bundle, the operator can start multiple operations at once. Okay. Operator started tasks are displayed in the active jobs window. Okay, first of all, we can open instructions. Instructions can come from the product, the operation, or a specific production order. You can register scrap if product is damaged by specifying quantity and the cause of error. A list of raw materials opens with calculated quantities based on the registered production quantity, or as now it's scrapped quantity. Yeah, these quantities can be adjusted if needed. We can change quantity. Yeah, and press OK. If no adjustments are required, the system can be configured so this window does not open. And in that case, the materials will be issued according to the estimated quantities. In adjust material, we can open same raw material window. You can see remaining quantities of raw materials to be consumed. Of course, we can modify the quantities and raw materials used and width off by pressing pause now. By opening report progress, we can perform actions on the operation. We can see system suggest registering the remaining quantity to be produced. This feature can be enabled or disabled through the settings. Then we need to select job status. In progress means the operation is still ongoing and not finished. Stopped means the operation has been paused, and completed means the operation is finished. As you can see, picking list document has been registered. Raw materials have been consumed. Also, the report we finished being posted because this was the last operation. It's meaning the complete production quantity has now been recorded. At this point, the label for the finished product could also be printed. Okay, we can check production order. Yeah, it should be this one. As you can see, status has changed to reported as finished. If we review the transactions, we could see the registered quantities of finished goods. And of course, you can see all journals, which is report all transactions. Okay. We can also have additional window where the employee can register machine breakdowns and maintenances. Let's select machine, enter code and press enter. The maintenance information for this equipment are displayed. Then we can register downtime by entering reason. Yes, and the period during which the machine will be inactive. Okay. And of course, you can create a maintenance requirement. First of all, we can provide description, for example, bad noise, and press OK. This information is fully integrated and reflected in the asset management module, where the assets are managed. Okay, let's back to all jobs. And on the left side, we can have additional buttons. For example, brick can register brick by selecting the brick type. Operators can also register indirect activities, such as maintenance or meetings. Example, team meetings. Indirect activities will be stopped when the employer starts an operation. Leaving, we choose whether we are temporarily logging out or finishing work. Then finishing work, clock out should be selected, and the system will automatically stop all operations that are in progress. And my day, the operator can see their activities for each day. Of course, we can configure terminal visually, for example, change color, add and remove functions, and change layout of fields. Just move them, or add additional fields. If you go to configure production floor execution, and design tabs. Example, we can add additional functions or remove them and change their order. In registration history, here the production supervisor can review the operator's work. Let me choose my user. You can choose by user, by date. It also can be reviewed by day in time and attendance model. And in production floor management workspace, supervisor can change the order of the operations displayed on the terminal. So, okay, check maybe there. I already filtered to see only one-to-one resource. For example, we can move operations up or down, and or set a priority by pressing this button, toggle priority. In such a case, the system will not allow another operation to be started until the operation marked as high priority has been started. And if you go back to terminal, as you can see, it's marked as high priority. And if I try to start another job, I'm getting an error. Yeah, so that's main functions of production floor execution. Let's return to the slides and summarize how this real-time production tracking benefits the business. Additionally, the production floor execution has extra features that were not demonstrated during presentation. Assistant assist resource allows a worker to register an assistant, meaning we can support other team members in their task when needed. Using switch code, the workers can change their time registration code. For example, we can switch to an overtime code when working extra hours, ensuring accurate time tracking. And tracked components feature lets workers and managers register batch or serial numbers for materials and components used in production. From a business perspective, digital shop floor execution delivers measurable value. Companies typically see improved reporting accuracy, reduced manual correction, and better production cost control. Real-time visibility enables faster decision-making and reduced operation risk. When raw material are consumed in real time during production, the procurement department can immediately see how much has been used and how much needs to be ordered. To summarize, production floor execution bridges planning and execution within one integrated ERP. It enables real-time control, improves cost accuracy, and supports scalable manufacturing operations. Thank you for your attention.
Now, next two topics, quality control, and then we will have warehouse management. So for those two topics, I would like to invite and ask to share his screen my colleague Mielis. Please, Mielis.
We're going to talk about quality management. Quality control is an interesting topic. A lot of manufacturing and production companies and warehousing companies are using the module. So quality today is not just an operational concern. It directly affects margin, customer trust, and business risks. One escaped defect can cost more than hundreds of inspections. And at the same time, regulatory and traceability requirements in the European Union are becoming more stricter, especially in the manufacturing and distribution area. And this is why quality management needs to be built into daily operations, not handheld as an afterthought. The quality inspection at the right time will reduce the cost of poor quality, for example, reducing rework, scrap, and returns. The 365 quality management supports multi-warehousing and multi-sites. In many companies, quality checks still depend on manual processes, like Excel sheets or local decisions on the shop floor, and inspections often happen too late. And when the value has already been added to the product, warehouses are under pressure to keep goods moving, so quality steps are sometimes bypassed. And the results is limited visibility of the causes, scrap costs, and where problems truly start. Quality order form in 365 is used to record, execute, and track inspection results for items linked to the purchase orders, production orders, sales orders, or inventory batches. It contains header information like item number, batch number, lot number, reference type, be that a purchase order, sales order, and quantity, inventory dimensions like warehouses, and status. And detailed lines underneath generated from the predefined test groups. That is where the users can enter measurements of the results and pass-fail validations based on the tolerances. We will see that in a second also in the system, but before that, the tests are not hard-coded in the 365 system. The tests we use on the quality orders define the individual inspection parameters like that will later be applied to the items through test groups and quality orders. In this setup, you define the test type. It can be a numeric or text or list selected from the list of values. And the tests are grouped into test groups and later associated to the products. So quickly, before I go into the system, I mentioned that, tests can be defined in the system as needed. They can be linked into test groups and associated certain products and certain orders or transactions. And I will open up the system. I will share my screen. Here is the 365 system. And the quality management is part of the inventory management in 365 system. And we mentioned the settings before we can do any quality work in the system. The tests can be defined as needed by the quality people. It can be a numeric test, or it can be a test result selected from the list. And the lists can be defined as test variables, also dynamically. For example, visual inspection has 3 different outcomes: clear, which is of type pass, dark yellow, which is of type fail, and slight yellow, which is also of type fail. Now, once this basic data is defined, the test groups can be defined. Test groups link the tests we created before, like those 4 tests, for a certain purpose. And it can be linked to later to a specific product, like in this example, liquid fertilizer. And the test groups also define the item sampling. Do we need to block the whole quantity, 100% of the items, or only 1% of the items? that are being tested. It also defines how often the tests need to be performed. Like we can define the tests don't need to happen every time when we receive items, but maybe every fifth time. And not all the license plates need to be tested, but some of the license plates need to be tested. This can be predefined. And now there is one more thing to set up is the trigger. The quality orders I mentioned before can be the empty quality orders I mentioned before can be created automatically based on some transactions happening in the system. Like somebody in the purchasing receives an item, or somebody in the production produces an item or completes a production step. We can trigger the quality order creation based on that step. And to do that, to set it up, quality associations are used in the system. And the quality associations can be of type purchase, like I mentioned, of type production. It can be also of type sales, and some other types, sales return or internal transfer from warehouse to warehouse. So when we define this kind of trigger, we define what test group, like our fertilizer test group, will be used on that specific quality order, what will be the sampling, and basically what will be the items and products that will be created will trigger this quality order creation. Okay, once this all is set up in the system, now everyday work starts. And everyday's work is done on the quality orders. Quality orders define, or quality order basically is an empty sheet where the quality inspector can enter the test results. Here, the quality order number is given automatically and linked to the source document. The source document is visible on the reference. It can be internal, which is of type inventory, or it can be purchase, and in that case, I can see the related purchase order number and customer and the vendor number on the header. And underneath, I have our tests. The tests, each test already have the acceptable minimum, acceptable maximum, and standard value. And we have a screen where the user can quickly enter the results for each test. Right now, the quality order is open, and I can populate the test results. Since the transaction was made with quantity 2, it shows the quantity 2 here as a default quantity, but we can skip or we can split the quantity as needed and do multiple tests. And now I will do our results entry. Minimum is 50, maximum is 100. So obviously I will need to enter something in between that, or if not, if it's under a minimum value, then when I hit validate, it says that test failed, and I should not go on with using with that product. We can define in the system what should happen to that product. Should it block the inventory, and meaning it's not possible to use this batch before everything is corrected, or when the item is scrapped. Let's change the value to back to 60, for example, 70. And the last test is visual inspection, which is not a numeric test, but I have to choose a value here. Again, we can see those 3 values. Clear means pass. When I choose dark yellow, it means fail. And slight yellow also fail, but in case of clear, it passes. So this is the everyday's quality entry process, and now I can validate the quality order, and the internal processes with that item can go on. Now going back to the presentation. We have Okay, so in terms of the quality management functionality here in the system, there might be also issues found with the products in a daily basis, which are not kind of planned quality checks. And in that case, those can be registered under non-conformances. So in the non-conformances, we can define the problems and describe what is the problem. The non-conformance can be linked to a specific type of transaction, like in case it was purchased item, I can say it's a vendor-specific non-conformance. I can select or populate the item number, enter the comments. In the reference number, I can select the item, the purchase order number, and the vendor number, and then define and choose a problem type from the predefined problem types, which also can be defined. But also the non-conformances can be initiated from the original documents. It doesn't need to be created from the inventory management. So I can directly do it from the purchase order, from the sales order, from the production order, and so on. So from many places in the system. And once this is created, I will hit cancel at the moment. We can add some additional information under the paperclip here. We can do we can add documents, files, pictures of the product, and also add some descriptions what happened to the product. It was fixed maybe later, or it needs to be sent back or something. And then we can print also the paperwork, non-conformance report, correction report, non-conformance tag to be put on the items. So the whole process applies here. So this is quick print. I hope it comes out quickly. Yeah, non-conformance report. And now I will go back to the presentation. So as I mentioned, the quality touch points for the system are different transactions. The system can automatically trigger quality inspections based on when goods arrive, during production, before products are shipped, and if needed, inventory can be blocked or moved to quarantine, so it cannot be used accidentally. And pass or fail decisions directly influence what happens next this process. And the example scenario, what happens now? So imagine a raw material batch arrives and fails inspection. Then the system automatically creates a quality order and blocks the inventory from use. And production cannot consume it until disposition is made, such as return to the supplier or rework. And this prevents one bad batch from affecting several days of production and multiple customers' deliveries. I would one more last slide. I would mention that Microsoft is actually developing quality area quite actively recently. Was a new update added a lot of new functionality to this, which is visible on the screen here. For example, it added corrective and preventive action management, the first arrow. It made additions to the non-conformances. It amended the sample plans and skip plot functionality, which I shortly mentioned. Then digitalized manufacturing, some regulatory compliances, and user efficiency, like the quality order entry screen that was added. It was much easier to do right now. So this area is adding a lot of new features recently. And that's it for the quality. Going on with the warehouse functions. The warehouse module is a very big module in the system. Today, we will look at how the modern warehouse management inside 365 helps companies gain control, speed, and accuracy. And this is not just IT, it's operational performance rather. Especially in production and distribution environments, the warehouse directly impacts costs and customer service. And the goal is to show how the warehouse becomes a competitive advantage. many warehouses still rely on paper, Excel or tribal knowledge. Inventory accuracy suffers, which leads to production delays and emergency purchasing. And picking is often slow and inconsistent, depending on who is working that shift. When warehouse systems are separated from ERP, information is always late or incomplete. Finance, production, and logistics operate on different versions of reality. With 365, warehouse processes are part of the same system that runs purchasing, production, and sales. This means real-time decisions based on reliable data. And the real-time, this is an advanced warehouse management solution built into ERP. It is process-driven, it's mobile first, and designed for complex operations. Every movement is registered in real time. That gives both operators and managers immediate visibility. And the system supports the entire flow from supplier to customer. Goods are received, stored, supplied to production, picked, and shipped in one connected process. No manual re-entry of information is needed. The result is smoother operations and fewer surprises. And I mentioned mobile app. So the warehouse workers use simple mobile devices instead of paper. The system tells them what to do next, step by step. Barcode scanning reduces mistakes dramatically. Training new staff becomes much faster. And I would quickly show now the system. I should reshare my screen. So basically, I created a new purchase order for warehouse 24, item number, and quantity 10. Okay, this is my purchase order, and now I'll go into the inbound menu, and I can look up the purchase order by vendor or by item. We can create those menu items here, how we can do the lookup. But right now, since I know the purchase order, I just enter the purchase order number here manually. So I'll go in and put in the purchase order number. Now the system asks me to scan the item, the barcode obviously from the item, and asks how many units I want to receive. Let's say I only received 4 out of 10. It was a partial receipt. And now it's saying, is that all correct? And I will put it to a temporary put away location, which is fine. Okay, and the work is completed. So my receiving is done on the handheld, but it's located at the temporary location, which I can see in the transactions of that order. It's in the registered status, 4 units, and it created a license plate, which is, let's say, it's a case number, or it can be a pallet number, whatever it is. So it's a unique identifier for this amount of products. Next, I can use the purchase put away function. So now the 4 units of product is sitting at the door here. I have to scan that license plate number and say, okay, now I'll put it away to the warehouse. Okay, and the system is asking, is that the product you want to scan and move away? Yes, that's the product. And next, so the product is now put away. It automatically can suggest the location where to put away. It shows up on the screen, on the handheld screen, and we can use several optimized location directive logics how that item needs to be put away and where. For example, consolidation, meaning the same item needs to be put where the item already exists. Right now, the system is suggesting to put it away to FL001. So there are different logics what we can use so the system can suggest the location to put away. Obviously, in the warehouse management, we also have several internal transactions. When I go back to the main menu, we have inventory functions here. For example, inventory movement. This is a step where we can move items from one location to another location. Just scan the location where I want to take items from. The system can see what items are located at here, and do you want to take all 100 items or only 10 items or whatever it is, and move it away to the next destination location. It can be also, you can also move items from warehouse to warehouse, or we can also decide when you have a multi-site system, we have one site in one city, another site in another city. We can do in their outbound menu, we can use create transfer order from license plate function to scan all my license plates. Let's say I have 50 license plates here, scan them and send them all together to a new warehouse. This step will ship those license plates out, but will not receive them into the new warehouse, as those need to be received in there when they arrive there days later. So there are a lot of functions here on the scanner. Now, coming back to the presentation. When doing this purchase receiving, we have also an option to do quality checks right on the purchase receiving window on the handheld. So, and when I say the product is not acceptable, it can go to the blocked status into the blocked area, and then somebody in quality can decide what to do with the product. Also, we can print labels. The label design is something that cannot be, that doesn't have to be developed. It is a CPL script which can be entered to the system, and the system label design can be done just with the settings. So we can print license plate labels during the receiving. Going on to the next slide, the warehouse is modeled down by zones and aisles and bins. And every pallet or container can be tracked with lines, license plates, badges, or serial numbers. The system can enforce FIFO or FIFO picking automatically, meaning that I have to pick the first expiring items first. The system can locate me in the area when doing the picking, where is the oldest batch to be picked. That means high accuracy and strong traceability without relying on memory. Now, how the picking is organized. The system organized picking work in the most efficient way. Waves, zones, or cluster picking can be used depending on your operation. Workers follow optimized routes instead of working randomly. And productivity per employee increases a lot. And I will quickly go through the picking process and then explain some of those concepts mentioned here. We can see the system again. This time I'm going to the sales module, and I will do I will create a sales order to ship it out. This is the screen of all sales orders. I'll create a new sales order for the user, for the company US 003, and the warehouse will be 24. And that's enough for now. I will enter the same item number to the sales order lines and want to ship 2 units of that item. So I can create a lot of sales orders in the system and then decide every 2 hours they will be released to warehouse to be picked. Or I can do release one by one on the sales order. If I have big sales orders, I want to manually manage them, I can do release one by one. In this demo, I will do it one by one. But the batch job can also run automatically to release them to warehouse. So now I released the warehouse, created a wave which I mentioned before, the Wave can collect many orders together and to be picked all together. And it also created a shipment, but shipment is something related to that specific order. Now, this is how the process is organized in the warehouse. The shipment I can see from the specific sales order. It copies a lot of information from the sales order, the same item, same quantity, and it also created the picking work details. So that's something that now the handheld will update again. And it's in the open status. The system will direct the user to the FL001 location and say that items need to be put away to the paid or location. Okay, I'll try to do the picking. So I already went to the outbound menu on the scanner, and I can do sales picking menu, which is I enter the sales order manually if I know what's the sales order number. If I don't know, then I can use system directed picking, and then the system directs me through the warehouse location by location in the optimized route. Each location can have a sort code, which defines the optimized route. And right now, I will take the work number to be faster and go through the sales picking function and enter that I want to pick this order now. Okay, the system knows what's on that order. It says go to the FL01 location, pick that item 2 units, and scan the license plate for that item. I have to check the license plate for a second. I will go to the locations list and see my license plate number. Okay, hopefully 24 would work. Sorry. Okay, the license plate is 24. And I will say I will put to my target. The target license plates can be also created automatically. And now it says put to the paid or location. Okay, the pick is completed. Now when I go back to my pick work, which I created earlier, refresh the screen, I can see the work's closed. That's a very simple pick. Now if I have many lines to pick, then obviously I have to pick all lines on the scanner. And if I have many orders, then they can be picked all together or separated, depending on how many it's setting in the system. And also the pick works can be created by zone. If you have different zones, cold zone, hot zone, or regular zone, and then we can split the work created by its zones also. Now the regular shipping functions follows. I confirm the shipment and pick and print the shipping paperwork like packing slip and invoices and so on. I will not spend time on that. It's an obvious step. Now some additions. Now I will share again the presentation and some additions to this process. We have also a function on the handheld to do the sorting. So basically we scan the item that was picked to my sort area, and the system will tell you what bin I have to put it away, which is associated to a specific sales order. And next, we also have a packing station. Packing station is something that is for containerization. When I have picked all my items and now I have to put them into a specific shipping container, then this is a screen where I can do all that work. It's a very efficient screen. I don't have time to show it right now, but basically the process starts with scanning the first license plate that was picked, like my target 1 license plate I just created in the picking process. Then the system knows what is the shipment for this license plate, and I can now scan different next items on the same order, and the system will validate, are those items all part of the same order, or they are not on that order, and in that case it doesn't allow to pick them or container them to the same container. So there is a packing station to do that. And now obviously full tracking of batches and serial numbers is built into the daily business. If there is a quality issue, you can quickly identify affected products. This reduces recall risks and support regulatory compliance. Traceability becomes a normal part of operations, not a separate effort. Successful projects start with process design, not just system setup. Yeah. Often companies roll out in phases to reduce risks. Training focuses on mobile users and practical scenarios. Change management is key because this changes daily work. And here I have some of the functions. We have a lot of functions on the handheld. Some of them we already saw today, like purchase, receiving, and put away, sales picking, production picking, production receiving, transfer order, shipping and receiving, which is a multi-step transaction. Transfer order is meant for warehouse to warehouse, site to site transaction, where shipping and receiving are happening on 2 different times and 2 different steps. Then number 6, pin-to-pin movement, adjustment out, obviously, the scrap items, adjustment in, cycle counting, and a driver checks in and check out also, which can be very useful. Item inventory lookups, location lookup. And finally, I will mention quickly from the production side, the handheld also provides a lot of function there. First, we can run replenishment of production materials for the production area. It can be also done in the same way as I mentioned for sales picking in the optimized route picking way. It can be periodic waiving, or it can be a manual waiving. It can be based on min-max driven or demand driven based on production orders. Then obviously, once we have all that replenishment done, items move to the production area, then we can also use handheld to do picking of those materials against the production orders, which is quite similar to the sales picking I showed earlier. And also what is available on the handheld, we can do report as finished on the handheld. So receive items from production into the warehouse, confirmed items arrived, print labels, production labels, also labels with our custom design with ZPL script. And this will complete the whole flow of the warehouse processes. Now, very quickly, managers can see work and workload in real time. Tasks can be prioritized based on urgency, and performance data helps identify bottlenecks or training needs. This turns warehouse labor into something measurable and manageable. Real time, you don't need to work through the warehouse to understand what's happening. Dashboards show inventory levels, open tasks, and delays. Problems become visible early, not after customers complain. This supports proactive management. And I would unshare my screen and give back the floor.
So thank you, Melis, for the interesting session in terms of warehouse management. As we all have time today, we will answer all the questions provided in the chat by providing the follow-up email along with this webinar recording, so you can share it internally, as well as really invite everyone who saw it, but you still have some questions unanswered, or you want to see one or another functional area more deeply, please contact us by email. Scan this QR code and straight away you will be directed to a place where you can provide the request for the demo, or just reach out to us on LinkedIn, email, wherever it is easier for you. I would like to thank everyone for today's meeting. Thank you, Albertas. Thank you, Melis. You did a great job today. I hope it was really beneficial for you guys, and see you in our webinars. Thank you, everyone.